Hello everybody. Welcome to Karen's Stamp Pad. My name is Karen Scott. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Edmonton, Alberta. So welcome. Today I am going to show you a double Z fold card, and I'm using the Sailing Home bundle, which is retiring. And although it's not on sale, it is in the last chance catalog, so it's while supplies last. But I thought, you know, I always have a problem doing cards for men, and this is actually quite a nice one. I bought this stamp set and dies actually for my mom. My mom has she has this love of lighthouses, and I thought she would enjoy these cards. So anyway, but like I said, they're great for men. So I did a happy birthday card. I will show you how to put together the double Z fold, and let's get started. So I am going to use Pacific Point this time. The designer series paper that I'm using is actually the Waves of Inspiration designer series paper, and I've pre-cut everything so I'll go through the measurements and we can put this together. So all right, move all those out of the way. Okay, so first we start with some Pacific Point cardstock, and you want to cut it the long way, and it is 4.5 by 11. Okay, and we're going to score it at 2 3/4 and 5.5. So when you fold it together, fold it. Don't forget to burnish it. Pull your bone folder in. You want it to lay down a little bit. It's going to be a bulky card. So, and then your second piece of cardstock is 3.5 by 9 3/4, and again scored at 2 3/4 and 5.5. Okay. So I have some pieces of the designer series paper pre-cut, and let me show you how that works. Okay, I have one piece which measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to be there. I have two pieces that are 2.5 by 4, and I'm going to put them on here. I have, as you can see, I have a piece of basic white. It is 4 inches by 3 1/4, and that is going to go on the front of this part, and a piece of basic white that is 2.5 by 3 1/4 for that, and 2.5 by 3 1/4 piece of designer series paper, which will go in the middle. So I'll show you how to put it all together. But all right, so what I'm going to start doing is just glue down my designer series paper first. Hello, Margaret Ann. Thank you for sharing. So I'm going to use the green with the green, and put some adhesive on here. So I'm just going to pull in my Stampin' Seal. Such pretty paper. I haven't used my wave stamp set and dies yet, So that's coming. I figured my mother would enjoy these because we've always lived around the ocean, and she spent 30 plus years in Port Renfrew, BC, and she lived right on the water. Okay, so I'm going to take my piece of basic white. I'm going to center that on here. So I'm going to put it all together before I attach the two pieces. There we go. And my white. Yes, you're from the East Coast. My mom had paintings of the lighthouse in Peggy's Cove, so those were always hanging up in our house. And my aunt had done a painting with the herons. It was funny. So when the Waves of Inspiration came out, the herons reminded me of that painting my aunt did. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold it, and what I want to do is just, because I want it to be centered, I'm going to be very careful here on how I put that down. Okay, so I'm gonna start by putting some adhesive on here. Make sure I don't wiggle it, and get it centered. There we go. So now close it up. There we have that. And I want to put adhesive just on this side because I don't want it sticking to each other. I may have, yep, there we go. All right, so there's your double Z fold card. You see the little box in there, and it stands up and you'll be able to see everything. Okay, so I've pre-cut, let me show you the stamp set again. It has some great nautical themes. It's got some sailboats, and it's got the rope and an anchor, the lighthouse, of course, and I love the font in the sayings. So what I've done is the dies have, I've stamped and cut out everything with the dies because I'm going to place it on. So this piece of basic white, what I've done is I've run it through an embossing folder, the old world paper, I think it's called. And so it has kind of a wavy look to it, like it is water. So that's why I chose that one. The die also has a die cut for your sentiment. And I haven't decided where I'm going to place everything yet. There is also some rope that I've die cut out. I mean, we can play with it and do whatever you like, make a border on it, but I think what I'm going to do is just like I did on the last card and put a couple pieces here. So I'll bring out my liquid glue and glue that down. Pull in my silicone craft mat. My glue is getting right to the end, but I want to use it all up. And maybe not. So I'll grab another one. All right. So you don't need a lot. I'm just going to put a little bit on. Put that here. Find my paper snaps. And cut that off. There. Okay. Now, let's play around with some of this. I think it might be too busy if I have both the sailboat. I'm going to place that there. I don't know. I think maybe that's what I'll do. Might look a little busy. I'm going to pull in my glue dots and pop this up a bit. So I've cut two pieces, one in the Pacific point and then stamped on the white, and just kind of offset it a little bit. And might take your pick tool and just grab some dimensionals. Okay. So let hope be your anchor through the storms of life. I have a friend I'm going to send this to who's having a rough go of it lately. I think he'd appreciate this. Okay. And I'll just attach these quickly. And see how easy it is to put together once you have everything all cut out. Okay. And I'll put the sailboat over here. So there you have it. Nice and easy double Z fold card using the Sailing Home bundle. And there's the other one. So I did something different, and I used the rope on the inside there, and I have the wheel of the ship on the front. So there's two examples. Now what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring in that's great for guys, but I like my flowers. So I'm going to show you the same card, only using the painted poppies, and I believe that is on the Last Chance list, but I'm using the same measurements. And this is pale papaya. This designer series paper is hand penned. It is on the last chance list as well. It's very pretty paper, but I like the polka dots on this side. So again, my measurements are, your first piece of cardstock is 4.5 by 11, scored at 2 3/4 and 5.5. And the second one is 3.5 by 9 3/4, scored at 2 3/4 and 5.5 again. So I'm just going to fold those down. And I love this, the bundle, the painted poppies and the dies that go along with it. And what I've done is there's some things that are retiring, and one of them is I believe the in color, because they're coming out with new one, shimmer vellum. And so this is in the pale papaya, and I have cut out my poppies with my dies. Let me move that out of the way so you can see. And I'm using the shimmer vellum underneath for my poppy. So once it's put together, this is what it looks like. And the black centers. So I've gone ahead and put some together. So we'll just, all the pieces are cut the same. So I'm going to adhere this. We'll put it together again first. I was going to do this one with the hand penned, so I had this plus the die cuts, but I really like the poppies. And I needed to do some cards with some poppies on it because I have a box that I put together, and I have done a video in the past on it, but I did Christmas boxes. And I think what I'll do is for my next Facebook Live, I just put, showed the girls in my, one of the groups that I'm in, with my, my team, I guess. It's not my team, but my uplines team. I guess we're all a team. And so the box I showcased at our once a month meeting, and one of them was with these poppies done in the same color on this designer series paper. So now what I need to do is make some cards to put in the box that I can gift. All right, so let me pull in my box and I will show you. So I'm thinking what I'll do is next week for the Facebook Live is I'll do this one again, and but maybe not with the poppies. And as you can see, then it's got room for some cards to go in it. So all right, now we're going to fold this over again. Remember, we're going to line this up. I think this time I will do that. Good. There we go. All right, so now it's just decorating. So just make sure it all lays flat when it's out, and then you know you've got everything in the right place. So I've pre-done some of my poppies. I've cut out my greenery, my leaves. And I'm bringing in, we have a stamp and die set. It's called Soaring Swallows. Now, if I can find my other wing, that would be great. I don't know what happened to that because I wanted to put this swallow on here. And I don't know. I don't know where it went. Okay, well, I have to cut another piece. So I thought we'd just play around with this. Now, with the vellum, you can see through it, so you're going to be able to see your adhesives. So just try to glue it where the solid parts are with the cardstock. And I don't want this to be seen underneath either, so I'm just going to cut it and place it right there. Okay. Now what? Oh, you liked your box. So thank you. Yeah, I like that box too. I made a bunch at Christmas time, and I've got my dog groomers, because I take all my dogs into the groomers. So there was one, she does the Goldens. She loves Goldens, they're her favorite. And then the lady who owns the shop, she was grooming my Shih Tzu. And so I had done up a few of those boxes using the Pampered Pets designer series paper, and made some cards, pet cards, you know, sorry for your loss, and just anything that, you know, they could use. And I gifted those at Christmas to them. So that's why I'm always looking for bags and tags, designs and boxes, and that's just, I think it takes everything to the next level. All right. Now, let's see. So the greenery just adds a little more color. And then what I'm gonna do, yeah, I think like that. I've part of the I'm going to put the happy birthday on the inside. And I think put my swallow, I've got to piece them together, but He's missing a wing. I don't know what I did with it. It was all in one spot, but okay. So let's try that. Place that one there. I wonder if I'm going overboard here. These needs a little bit of color. Doesn't need too much. Okay. So there we go. Okay. I'm not going to pop this up just because I want it to lay down flat, but I used Calypso Coral just to add a darker color to this. I'm going to glue my one wing on, and I could get up and cut another one, but I'm sure I'll find it once this video is over. And I thought it might go right about there. So this one I will pop up with a dimensional, and then it gives me some room to glue down my or glue on my other wing once I cut it. So you'll get just a it's a one-winged dove, as Stevie Nicks would say. Okay. Pull my backing off. My glue is drying, and there we have it. So I will put another wing on, but here we have our Z-fold card. Oh, thank you, Margaret Ann. Okay. So there's the girly version, and a guy's card, double Z fold cards. There you have it. So that's it for today for me. I'm gonna go cut a wing now and glue that on and finish my card. And yeah, so have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you again next week. And maybe I'll be on time. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye.